senior from Michigan, Abbey High School. You had such an integral role last year at the NCAA championships, clinching the title on being the last routine ever. Did you know how much was on the line when you saluted?
You know, I knew that we were very close going into the last rotation too, and we had a couple mistakes early in the lineup, so I knew we needed a hit. With Sierra going and hitting, Nat going and hitting, and then I was last, it gave me the confidence I needed to just go up and do a normal routine.
What were your emotions like when you finished the dismount?
Oh God. It's like every time I think back to that moment, I honestly don't even remember because it was just, you were caught up. It was, my biggest thing was just the sense of relief that I was done. Because again, it was like, okay, it's on beam. I feel like everyone's always nervous, at least a little bit nervous to beat beam. So it's like, once you get off, you're like, oh, thank God. So I think that was the biggest thing, relief, and there was a sense that we had done it.
You guys have been having such a great season so far, and I'm sure taking one meet, one routine at a time. But what do you guys need to do to pull up the win?
We've been on this high for so long, you know, winning nationals and just being at the top for so long. It's like we wanted to go back, take a step back and reassess what our goals were individually and what our goals were as a team. And just break it down piece by piece and not focus on getting a 198. It's focusing on, hey, I'm going to stick my beam dismount. Hey, I'm going to hit all three of my handstands in my bar routine. And I think breaking it down like that takes some of that pressure off, but it also lets us, you know, focus on the little things to get those routines to where they were at the NCAA final.
When Abby mentioned that this team has been on top for so long, she wasn't exaggerating. Look at the numbers on this graph. Going back to last March, Michigan had consistently scored 49 plus on almost every event. That means scores in the mid-49s all year long. And the only bobble was the exception last week, a low score on the vault, but incredible consistency. Now, head coach Bev Blocky said she was glad they stumbled because it was a reality check showing them that they're human and what they need to work on to bounce back. We'll see if it works as Michigan heads to vault when they go to the next rotation. We'll be back in a minute. They're the #1 team in the country on vault. Vaulters in the nation. 7 of the 10 are in tonight's meet. 2 from Oklahoma, Levasseur and Bowers, and 5 from Michigan. Brooks, Morrison, Wilson, Eugenio, and Abbey High School. And that will bring up Eugenio, who's the first vaulter. Raina is a sophomore from Tampa, Florida, who has been a key leadoff vaulter all year long with the season high 9.85.
She has been amazing. She did fall last week, though, so this is her bounce back. And what a bounce back it is.
Wow.
She actually scored a 10-0 in the leadoff position on vault. So great to see her turn that page.
Let's go down to Sam for more.
Head coach Bev Blocky said they realized just how important that leadoff position with Raina Gugina is. She said we've seen it in both directions. She started the stick fiasco last week, but she also started the 3 contagious sticks. They're hoping for the latter tonight.
Oh man, we got a good one here tonight, that's for sure. Danny Sievers now up for the Sooners in that leadoff spot. You see their lineup on bars. They're the #2 team in the country on bars.
Nice transition from the Maloney to the pack. Really fighting for every 10th of a point. Look for tight body. She's a little bit short on that handstand. They'll take a slight deduction there. Little knee bend through the bottom on the giant, but wow! Pulled out the full twisting double tuck and a stuck landing to start Oklahoma on bars, where they're ranked #1. So, guys, if you're not on the edge of your seat yet, you will be in this rotation. #1 against #1 on these 2 events right now, so they are going to battle head-to-head, back and forth.
Natalie Wojcik now. One of 4 all-arounders competing for Michigan tonight.
And one of the falls from last week, so she also wants to turn the page on that. Wow, great vault. So beautifully executed. A slight pop on the landing, so don't have to deduct for that. But look at the height, the form throughout that vault. Beautiful.
Wojciech, who's been superb in the all-around with a season-high 39.675. There's a great day of basketball coming up for you tomorrow on ESPN and the app. First at noon Eastern, number 14 Arkansas heads to number 13 Tennessee. Then at 4, number 6 Kansas hosts number 21 Texas from Allen Fieldhouse. Finally at 6, it's Coach K's final game at Cameron with number 4 Duke hosting North Carolina. That's going to be a big one. I heard you can't even touch those tickets unless you're willing to shell out a lot of money. Danny Severs scored for the Sooners in a leadoff spot, a season-high 9.925, and that brings up Kat Levasseur, and she can really swing here.
Oh, pay attention to the details in this routine. Really has a beautiful position in her handstands, no pike in the hips, no sway in the back, blocks that out. And a nice executed double layup and a stick. We're gonna start, I think stickitis is contagious.
It's unreal what we're seeing here tonight. Her season high is a 9.95, and that might have just been better.
Watch her. Did you see her flatten her back? Once she hit that handstand position, really showed off the perfect technique. Well done.
There's nearly 8,000 in here that would mind seeing another perfect 10 for the Sooners. That was superb.
Abbey High School here has some phenomenal technique on this 1.5. Look at the height she gets because of the technique onto the table. Locked arms straight, no angle in her shoulders, really blasts it up. She turns her hands out, but look how straight her arms are, and she just bounces off that table. Had a little too much rotation. She could have frozen those feet a little longer and showed that shape off to get the stick. A lot of good things in that ball game.
After the 9.925 for Severs, Levasseur's 9.975. Reagan Smith now.
With a great combination here. Tkachev into the pack salto. Really difficult when you connect those two elements. Boy, she milked that final handstand, really trying to get everything out of this routine. Popped back and didn't get the stick on the landing. This is called a ray, and she's going to catch and then release again immediately to go down to the low bar with a pack salto. There's a slight leg separation on the pack.
Naomi Morrison will be next up for Michigan on the vault. High school score before her, a 9.85.
Naomi is ranked 5th in the nation on this event.
Season high 9.975 3 times.
So consistent. Whoa,
Ooh,
she
my.
launched that one. Overpowered it.
There's Bev Plotke in her 33rd year running the show at Michigan. Of course, last year she led her team to their first national championship, but she's won 24 Big Ten champions. She's one of the most successful coaches in any sport in Big Ten history. She's getting a couple of comments there from Scott Sherman, who's been a long-time associate head coach in his 26th year. Gary Thomas coming after 9.925 for Reagan Smith. So the Sooners, no score below 9.925 so far.
Watch how emphatic she is with these handstands. Just snaps those feet together. Beautiful blind change into the handstand. Lost a little bit of form on that straddle Jaeger. Again, right on top with that final handstand. And the dismount, double layout. That's when you know you're in a close competition, because you can see them fight for those landings, not giving away that 1/10 of a point. Look at that. That's perfect technique. When she did that blind change, that pirouette, right to handstand. Great job.
Remember, the Sooners last year finished second at the NCAAs by less than a tenth of a point to Michigan. They are on fire tonight. Don Haley giving some congratulations there. Sierra Brooks now after Naomi Morrison had a 9.725.
We have seen her nail this cold. So close to getting this stick. Look where she landed on the mat, however. She is almost to the end of the landing mat. That is crazy distance. Gets good height. This is just superb. She is flying across your screen, getting great distance. She could have held those feet up a little more, gotten a couple more inches, and maybe stuck the landing.
She took off in Norman and landed in Oklahoma City. Gary Thomas at 9.975 career high as we bring up Jordan Bowers. Look at her season average. Wow.
Watch the amplitude on this single bar release and the rotation. She turns that over and closes the legs before she catches the bar. Fantastic technique and form. Legs glued together. In all the places where a lot of gymnasts tend to separate those legs, not in this routine. And the stick.
Oh my.
Wow.
I think they got 5 out of 6 stuck landings there.
Crazy. I think you should check her ankles. I think she has Velcro on her ankles because she kept those feet and legs together the entire routine.
Actually, so far,
this
4 out of 5.
is superb. It's called a ray. She goes up high and rotates it. So when she regrabs, she is extended, arms straight. Just wonderful technique.
Final vaulter for Michigan will be Gabby Wilson coming after Sierra Brooks had a 9.85.
Ranked 6th on the vault. If Gabby can find the landing, there it is.
That was impressive.
Very impressive. Huge vault. Great height, great distance. Nice, opened her arms up.
We're waiting to get the official score, and it is a 10 for Jordan Bowers.
No, one judge. I think
One judge gave it 10.
Yes.
And another judge at 9.95. So the average is 9.975. But guess what?
What?
Audrey Davis can get a 10 here.
She can. This is an outrageous routine. That Higgins turn into the pike Jaeger, one of the most difficult skills in college gymnastics. Pack salto, clean as can be, and that half pirouette on low bar. Standing ovation from me because so many gymnasts cannot hit that handstand, and she does. Check out the dismount. It's a double front with a half turn out of these Eagle Giants. Wow, what a routine.
What a rotation for the Sooners. 5 out of 6 stalk landings and superb execution throughout. Wow.
Absolutely. The variety in this routine, the difficulty with those Higgins turns, the piped Jaeger, and this dismount. Another Higgins turn right here. She'll do one giant in those eagle grip. And a front half, boy, she is working on keeping those legs together too. Love it.
Get this, the Oklahoma Sooners, even before that score, already have the best score in the NCAA this year on bars. Wow, what a rotation for the Sooners. Sticking all their landings. Michigan, final vaulter Gabby Wilson got a 9.95. So Oklahoma will have the lead at the halfway point in this competition. Let's go down to Sam Peshek. She's with Michigan's head coach, Bev Plotke.
Bev, this vault rotation was crucial for your team after last week. What did you think?
We took some steps on some legs, but I think it's partly because last week we set some down. So I'm really happy with where we are right now. What an incredible crowd and an opportunity. Just anxious for the second half of this meet.
Your team is not used to being second. What do they need to do on floor to get the lead back?
We just have to stay into ourselves and what we do best, which is pay attention to us and absorb all the energy in this amazing crowd. So We just need to stay into what we're doing and stay focused on us.
Thanks, Bev.
Thanks.
And when we come back to Norman, Sam's conversation with Oklahoma junior Reagan Smith about the breakthroughs that she's had this season, as well as scoring her first collegiate perfect 10 a few weeks ago.
When you order